Thank you for staying with us. The Limpopo Book Fair returns as a vibrant celebration of literature, language and learning. The annual gathering is more than just an event. It is dedicated to igniting a passion for reading, nurturing aspiring writers and showcasing the diverse voices from Limpopo and beyond. Let's talk about this now with TV producer and children's book author Salamina Mosese. Salamina, appreciate your time. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Now, we talk about this year's edition being more exciting, more incredible. What's been on the cards?
Gosh, I'm here now, and I really wish I was on the field so you could see what is happening. For the first time, they have introduced something called the National Literary Games. And this is basically transforming literacy education and then combining it with exciting competitive sport. So it's like a little mini Olympics, but they have literacy games, wordplay. It is incredibly, incredibly exciting. I've just come off stage and I read for the first time from my new children's book, Noah's Invisible Blanket. And it's just incredible what the organization has been able to do. The kids are here in numbers from all over the province, and it is so inspiring.
Now, the one thing that happens, or the one conversation that most parents have, is about their kids not wanting to read. What is it that parents can do to get their children reading?
You know, I think it's a combination of things, Hugo. One of my favorite book quotes is, a book is both a friend and a teacher. So I think sometimes where we get it wrong as parents, as educators, as caregivers, is we only think that children must read for vocab and for education. For as long as we're not making the experience fun and engaging, we're not going to win. And, you know, with the rate of literacy being as low as it is all over the country, I think all stakeholders should themselves get excited about how do we introduce reading culture, books. And I think it also starts with, you know, the reason that so many of us young Black South African authors are writing the kind of books we're writing is because we want to write relatable stories that our children can see themselves in. You know, we're talking more than just vocab, more than just word confidence. It's about, you know, empathy. It's about teaching confidence. My book, Noah's Invisible Blanket, is about being brave and playing with the concept of the comfort blanket, so to speak. But really all I'm saying is even we get scared, but we can push through. So you are brave as you are. And that's just one of the messages from the books. Disaster at Gogo's Plaza was about representing local township culture in a better way, in a, you know, controlling the narrative, showing Gogo as an entrepreneur, as the pillar of the community, and then also just celebrating curious children doing naughty things, etc. You know, Nalibali is here. I just got, before on stage was a storyteller, and she was talking about Tselani and the giant. And it's just watching these children's eyes and that curiosity be sparked for story in a different way. And that's really what the Limpopo Book Fair is doing. And I'm glad to be here.
So let's talk about relatability. I mean, the titles that you speak of are obviously relatable to a lot of young South Africans. You know, when I was growing up, you would run into a lot of books, Nancy Drew, Hardy Boys, etc., right? Now, how accessible are these books? Because you walk into a typical bookstore and those aren't the titles that you are running into. Isn't this a problem? Is this a challenge for you as an author?
Hugo, yes, it is a challenge. And I think, you know, we also have to remind ourselves sometimes, and it's hard, when you walk into a bookstore, it is a business. So obviously they're putting forward the Roald Dahls, the Harry Potters, etc., etc. But what I really get excited about is not how many challenges and how there's still so many barriers to entry for us as authors. What I'm excited about is, you know, I came here to promote one book, but while I was standing outside, 3 children came to me and they had my other books. And then they were asking me about other authors. Is Refilo also here? Is Lebohang here? And that says to me that we're doing something right. Our children are waking up to the reality that there are more and more South African books that are available. So I guess the pushback then will be for more parents to actively help us as authors. We're writing the stories. We need the support. We need you to buy these books. We need you to get to whatever bookstore. I love the work that Book Circle Capital does because she puts us in prime position. You walk in, it's just South African authors. It's African authors. And that's fantastic, right? Ethnic kids, they are here today. And they are always celebrating every author that releases. So it's really just to say to parents, be deliberate about supporting local, and then you will also start to see pride in our children. My children were obsessed with Frozen and Elsa. And for the longest time, I couldn't get them to understand they don't have blonde hair. They have afros. They have, And then Mpumi's Magic Beads came out, and it suddenly, a girl with braids and these gorgeous beads was out, and the kids were obsessed. At hair salons, when Shoma Josie released her book, we were changing hairstyles. Children wanted pink hair. It starts like that. We have to build the brands. We're writing the books, but now they need to be celebrated. They need to be shared. They need to be in libraries, in bookstores, in our homes, etc. So it's a multi-layered conversation, but I get very, very excited. I think certainly the picture book scene is incredible in South Africa. I have a lot of people internationally asking us, why can't we get these books here in our countries? And that says to me, we are exportable and we're moving in the right direction.
Salamina, as we wrap, let's talk about teachers and librarians that are watching. How can they plug in resources, clubs, competitions, and so on?
Just prime position, I think. And then also just reaching out to us as authors. There's nothing I love more than a school read. It doesn't matter if you're going to buy the book. What we want to start happening is for children to get home and say, Mommy, Auntie Salamina came to the school. She read a book called something, something, something. And now I want cook-off at Gogo's Plaza. Please, can you go and look for it? I have parents who reach out and they're like, I don't know where to find your books. And I'm like, thank you for asking. Here's where you can go. And, I'm a published author with a publishing house. So my distribution channels are very different from others who are self-published. So there, it's about reaching out on social media. We are there. We are accessible. There's nothing I love more than even punting other authors, because I always say we're not in competition with each other. My children have 3 of my books, but after they read that, they need to read other books. So teachers and librarians, put us on the bookshelves. Sometimes parents walk in and they say, my daughter is looking for a book. She doesn't know what to read. Please suggest a Salamina Mosese book, a Refilwe Moahluli book, a Lebohang Masango book, Buntle's Magic Wheels by Khomolemo. There are so many and they are beautiful and our stories are important. And I think our children take far more pride in it than we would realize.
Can never said it better myself. Salamina Mosese, actress, producer, and children's book author. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming on to the show.